Somebody asked me to do breakdowns of the different lines I have in my base. So I will start off by giving you all a breakdown of one of the simplest lines I have in my base. Probably something I don't even need to break down, but I will do it anyway. And it's also one of my cleanest lines by far. So let's begin. This is kerosene production. Kerosene starts off with oil production. You have your oil, you need to bring it to a boiler from a source. So you have two sources of oil. You have, well, three sources technically. Four sources. You have your combination oven, is the simplest one you can get. It's the earliest you can get it. Cheapest you can get. It's not the best, but it is a source of oil. You have the derrick, which is your second, or you have the, and you get these usually about around the same time. As long as you've gotten oil processing from the combination oven, you're able to even get the fracking tower. So that's three. The other one is the pump jack. This would be your two, the second option. So if you don't want to make a derrick, you make a pump jack. It's a little more efficient on the side of, what is it called? Natural gas. Currently this is backed up, and I don't really have a automation on this thing for sulfur. However, sulfur is used in rubber production, as well as a variety of other things. So if you need sulfuric acid, this is probably where you'd get your sulfur from for that. We're just running a non-cracked oil setup, no vacuum oil. This is just regular oil. So you have your crude oil pumped in, heated, and put into this tower here. You can see I have it set up like this. You could just directly go into this thing. And so you'd save a couple pipes that way. I did it this way because I wanted it to look a certain way. Heavy oil, which is then is our first cut of oil technically. It's the heaviest. It's at the bottom here. So your heavy oil is processed in a fractioning tower. It gets you bitumen and industrial oil. Currently, my bitumen is backed up on this, which is a good thing that I've noticed this. I noticed it yesterday too. I just didn't even bother to do anything about it. Pretty sure my pipes are over here right now. Or they're here. Okay, it's perfect. So with your oil, heavy oil, you turn it into bitumen and industrial oil. So your bitumen will go to here. Your industrial oil is also cracked. This is specifically for kerosene. You can do a lot with oil and stuff like that. So don't just be like, oh, well, he's doing it this way. He's saying how I have. No, you can do this however you feel like to get the products you would like to get. And that just requires you to use any eye to do that. But this is specifically if you want to maximize, and this is not even the best way of maximizing it. This is the second best way of doing it. The first best way of doing it would be to start with cracked oil. So obviously with bitumen, it's always good whenever I crack this stuff down. It always will produce crude oil that I can pipe back and send back into my setup. So that's one of the big things with bitumen. That's why I always crack it usually. We're producing aromatic hydrocarbons, which we don't currently dispose in this setup, but I do have barrels for just this case. I mean, if I need to use this to get rid of my aromatic hydrocarbons, I can. Petroleum gas is also something we produce in large quantities, and I would dispose of that via flare stack or by making, obviously you can make aromatic hydrocarbons and petroleum gas into Bakelite. But let's move on to industrial oil. Industrial oil is produced by also the fractioning of heavy oil. It's sent to here, in this case, into a cracking tower, and we're making naphtha, petroleum gas this way. Super useful to make so much petroleum gas. You can use that for a variety of things: energy production, BTX. Well, I don't even know if it's BTX, LPG, stuff like that. But we're cracking that, and the naphtha obviously is being fractioned, so we have a connection here. And naphtha is our second heaviest cut of oil from our refinery. So we have our naphtha, which gets fractioned here, into heating oil and diesel. Heating oil is a very useless product in this case. I'm just coking it over at the other refinery by moving it there using a drone, which took a while to set up the drone because I was stupid. Okay, I'll admit. But this is like the one place I produce heating oil here is via naphtha. So our next cut is light oil, which is sent to this fractioning tower here, which also makes diesel, but also makes kerosene, the product I'm after for solvent. Primarily solvent. Well, this will work either way. So if I just set this to petroleum gas, I should have plenty of space to store my petroleum gas here. Alright. So yes, we produce our heating oil. It gets stored into here. Heating oil is made with the naphtha, obviously, and diesel, produced at both naphtha and light oil, is cracked down for kerosene. So diesel to kerosene gives you petroleum gas, and all of these cracking towers need a source of steam, and to sustain that during the daytime, I have a water boiler which does the job. This is pretty much everything there is to this refinery, and it would be very similar to set up something like this for cracked oil. However, I've opted to do regular oil because I would like the sulfur product for making sulfuric acid if I wanted to make a fracking tower later on. The biggest usage of this kerosene is for my nuclear program over here and for rocketry. As you can see, kerosene plays a big role in this, getting this to actually do stuff to make the nuclear fuels and things at our crafting section. As you can see, I have automated this as well. This is my last stream that I did. Automated the actual assembly of the uranium-233 billets. Started working on the automation of this, but never actually finished it, apparently. It's like, I'm done. Done working on it. Okay. But we're pretty much there on that. So, that's good enough for me. But that's pretty much all I have for you all with kerosene. Kerosene is super easy to do, and it doesn't take me long to explain how I have it set up, as well as show you how simple it looks too, because this petroleum gas goes to here. Like, I have it all flow in lines, and this just works from product to the last product. So it starts at the heaviest and works its way down. Bitumen's obviously heavier than industrial oil, which is heavier than diesel, significantly heavier than diesel. And with this method, you can easily get, a bit of kerosene. I don't have it hooked up to an actual pump jack. If I did, it would be producing tons of kerosene. This is the easiest way of getting kerosene. Kerosene is also used for power production. I think I failed to mention that part. you can definitely use kerosene for a long-term power source. But anyway, I think that's enough of this, and I will see you all next time when I will show another line off to you all.